From this video lecture, I will introduce about the disorders of excretory system, which is the last topic of the chapter, that is the excretory product and the mechanism of excretion. So we will study about the disorders of excretory system of human. As the physiology of human being, the chapter belonging to the unit that is human physiology contain every chapter a number of disorders. We have previously studied about the disorders of the body, fluid and circulation, and in this chapter we will also discuss about the disorders of excretory system. So, a number of disorders are found in related to the excretory system. The main disorder, or one of the main disorder, is the uremia. And uremia indicates, or the symptom of uremia indicated by accumulation of urea in blood. So that accumulation of urea in blood taking place by or due to kidney failure. Means if the kidney will be not able to filtrate the blood, so the toxic chemical or the nitrogenous waste, which is the main part of the filtrate after the filtration of blood, so that filtrate or that urea will not be removed from the blood and remain accumulated inside the blood. So that accumulation of urea in blood is known as uremia. And now we will also discuss about some methods to deal with the uremic patient. The patient which has this problem known as uremic patient, and to recover or to overcome the uremia or the treatment for uremia. Method to overcome uremia. So there are two main methods to deal with the uremic patient. The first is hemodialysis. So hemodialysis is the process of filtration of blood outside the body with the help of an artificial kidney, which is known as hemodialyzing system. So let us draw a simple diagram to represent the process of hemodialysis. In the case of hemodialysis, a system or setup taken which is known as dialyzing unit, and this dialyzing unit consists of a number of opening, and that number of opening may be in the form of inlet, outlet and some other structure. So the blood taken from the body, blood from artery, blood from artery taken outside the body or withdrawal to a tube, and that tube is connected to a system or to a tube, another tube, which tube consists of a pump, and it also maintains the temperature which is 0 degree Celsius. Then at the same place or adjacent to this pump, there is an inlet for the addition of heparin, which is an anticoagulant. So outside the body, the blood, or it ensures the blood do not coagulate or do not clot. So coagulation or clotting of blood is prevented by adding heparin, which is an anticoagulant. Then the blood passes into a tubular structure, and that tubular structure is known as cellophane tube or dilagic tube. This is known as dilagic tube. Dilagic tube, which is semi-permeable, and it is made up of cellophane tube. It is the cellophane tube. So in this cellophane tube, the blood withdrawn from the body and pass through this cellophane tube, and this cellophane tube deep in a solution inside the dilagic system. The solution which is found around the dilagic tubes or cellophane tubes. Around the cellophane tube, the fluid or the solution which is filled, it is known as, the solution is known as dilagic solution. And this dilagic solution consists of as same concentration, same composition, except urea or nitrogenous waste. Except nitrogenous waste, dilagic solution contain same composition as the plasma. Same composition except urea as plasma of the blood. So as we have discussed that during the filtration process from the blood, the plasma get filtered or plasma get transferred from the blood into the Bowman's capsule, except the protein of the plasma. Rest of the protein, except the protein, the maximum part of plasma get enter into the Bowman's capsule. So here from the blood we need to make a concentration gradient of only urea, not the other things from the blood. So the dilagic solution contains the solution similar to the plasma, or we can say that isotonic to the plasma, except the nitrogenous waste, that is urea. And here through the dilagic system or dilagic unit, it is the dilagic unit. So through the dilagic unit in the dilagic unit there are two other pipe or opening. One is the inlet for the fresh dilagic solution, and other is for the outlet for the used dialyzing solution. It means the used dialyzing solution get outside from this outlet and the fresh dialyzing solution get inside from the inlet. And after dialyzing or after filtration of blood, the blood get accumulated and carried out from the dialyzing unit through a pipe, and this pipe also contains a unit which is responsible for the addition of chemical, which is known as, here we add anti-heparin. Heparin is added here when the blood enter into the dialyzing unit to make the blood do not get clot, and then when this blood get enter into the body, the chemical which is added is known as anti-heparin, which work against heparin. Then through this pipe, the blood into the body through vein. So blood collected from the body through artery, while blood get again the blood get enter into the body, and that blood is the blood free from nitrogenous waste. Blood free from nitrogenous waste get enter in the body through the vein. And here inside the dialyzing unit, what are the processes taking place? So the blood which is flown in the cellophane tube or the dialyzing tube, that blood contains nitrogenous waste. So from that blood, the nitrogenous waste gets enter into the nitrogenous waste, that is urea. Urea get enter into the dialyzing solution, and that dialyzing solution which occupy more number of urea, which is which becomes similar to the amount of blood. It means the situation when there is no urea get enter into the dialyzing solution from the blood. In that situation, we need to open the outlet and remove all the dialyzing solution, and along with that, simultaneously we also need to enter the fresh dialyzing solution in the dialyzing unit. So to make the concentration gradient of urea, and which ensure the maximum amount of urea get transferred from the blood into the dialyzing solution. And lastly, we have the fresh blood or the blood free with nitrogenous waste get entered in our body, or in the body of patient having uremia. And this whole process completed in about 4 to 5 hours. Means the hemodialysis take about 4 to 5 hours to becomes complete filtration of blood to remove the nitrogenous waste from the blood. So one of the method to deal with the uremic patient is the hemodialysis, while one other, the second method to deal with the uremic patient is the kidney transplantation. So in the case of kidney transplantation, it is only can be possible when in case of acute kidney failure. In case of acute kidney failure, kidney transplantation may be the permanent cure or permanent method to cure or to treat the uremic patient. But there are some complications also remaining in the case of kidney transplantation, such as the rejection of the organs from the body of patient. And to overcome this problem, there is need of the close relative or the kidney of or the donor should be close relative. But on this time, there are some other technology also developed to overcome this problem. So, kidney transplantation may be one of the most effective method to deal with uremic patient. But this can be possible in the case of acute kidney failure. In the case of chronic kidney failure, there is no method or there is no any method of kidney transplantation. So the patient only will be depend on hemodialysis, which we have discussed with the help of this diagram. Now, the next disorder related to our excretory organ is the calculi. And in the case of calculi, the stone or the crystalline site accumulate in kidney, and the salt which is crystalline form, especially oxalate salt, calcium oxalate, magnesium oxalate, these are the salt which becomes crystalline to make stone-like structure, and that situation in the kidney is called calculi, or we can generally known as kidney stone. So kidney stone is also one of the problem, one of the disorder related to the excretory system, and the treatment or the method to cure that problem or this disorder is by chemical method. Or by physiological method, we can also remove the kidney stone or crystalline salt from the kidney. The third is the glomerulonephritis. So glomerulonephritis is the disorder. It is related to glomerulus. As the name, the disorder which is cause an ill effect or the problem in glomerulus, and it is the inflammation. Inflammation in glomerulus leads to disorder which is known as glomerulonephritis. So this is all about the kidney, the disorder related to our excretory system. We have discussed about three disorder: uremia, calculi, and glomerulonephritis. And out of these, the two, that is uremia and the calculi, is the most common disorder related to the excretory system of human being. And to overcome this, there are a number of medical facilities available to cure or to treat the problems or the disorder of the kidney.